In this session, we'll be seeing about selection sort. So this is like our insertion sort. We do have two different arrays, and general array that has been given will be divided into two sub-arrays. One is sorted, another one is unsorted. But the main difference is here in the sorted sub-array, initially we will consider it as only empty. So from the unsorted subarray, we will find what is the minimum element in the unsorted subarray, and that element, minimum element, will be swapped with the starting element of the unsorted subarray. So, and the remaining elements we will keep it without doing anything. So, this process we will be continuing till all our elements are getting sorted. Let's take an example, an array A which has 6 elements. The elements are 7, 4, 10, 8, 3 and 1. So now initially our sorted list doesn't have any element, and all the elements we will keep it in the unsorted subarray. Now we need to find out what is the minimum element. So the minimum element can be either found the general way of finding a minimum element. So what is the minimum element? So first starting element is 7 and the minimum element is 1. So we will swap this 1 and 7. The remaining elements remains unchanged. So we will swap only 1 and 7. So we will swap only 1 and 7. Now this becomes our sorted. The rest of the elements becomes our unsorted part of it. So now the starting element is 4. So from this unsorted array, which one is minimum? So 3 is minimum. What we do is we will swap 4 and 3. So we will swap 4 and 3. Now we have two elements in the sorted list and the remaining elements are there in the unsorted. Now 10 becomes our starting element. So in this unsorted subarray, we will find out which one is the minimum element. Now here we found 4 is the minimum element. So we will swap this 4 and 10. So 10 will be swapped in place of 4. So we will have 1, 3, 4, 8, 10 and 7. Now till 4 we have the sorted list. 8, 10 and 7. Now 8 becomes the starting of the unsorted array. In this we will find the minimum. Which one is minimum here? 7. So we will swap the 7 and 8. So we will swap the 7 and 8. The remaining elements will be in its own position. And now this becomes our sorted sublist and this becomes our unsorted. So from these two elements we need to find out which one is the minimum. So minimum element is 8. So we will swap, this is here the starting point. We will swap the starting and the minimum element. So we will have the elements being sorted in as it reaches 10. So we have only one element. There are no more elements to be compared with the unsorted subarray. Hence 10 will take its own position and all the elements now will become a sorted list. So we will have all the elements. So why selection sort is we will select the minimum value and swap it and insert in it the sorted sublist. That's the name selection sort. Now we'll see how it is being implemented. We will see the implementation of our selection sort. So as usual we need passes. How many passes we require? Totally if there are n elements we require n-1 number of passes. So what we do is initially we will take the first element, that is 0, as our minimum element. Then for I is equal to j plus 1, the next values in an unsorted subarray we have to compare till it reaches the last element. We increment j. If a of j is less than minimum element, so we have to find out which one is minimum element. That is, this loop will find out which one is minimum element by comparing each element of the array. So when we find less, that becomes our minimum element. This continues till we found the minimum element. So when we reach minimum is not equal to I, the current position. So the first element and the minimum element is not one and the same. What we do is we will swap the first element with the minimum element. So now we'll trace this particular algorithm or this implementation with our example. We'll take when I is equal to 0, that is our first pass itself, we will take 0 less than 6 minus 1, which is equal to 5. Yes, it is true. So what we do, minimum is equal to I, that is I is 0. Now we assign j is equal to 1. That is I plus 1. That is I plus 1, 0 plus 1. So we have j is equal to 1. So 1 less than or equal to 5. That is n. Okay. So in what is n? Less than or equal to 5. We will check 1 less than 6. N is 6. Right. So j less than n. Yes. It is true. A of 1. What is a of 1? It is 4. And a of 0. What is a of 0? It is 7. It is minimum. Yes. So minimum element, it is less, right? So minimum element, we will fix it as 1 now. Now j gets incremented to 2. So this loop again, it gets incremented. J gets incremented to, it checks 2 is less than 6. Yes. A of 2, what is a of 2? 10. 10 less than 1. 1 is 4. No. So what happens? The minimum is not assigned. Now j is equal to 3. This loop, it goes over here. It gets incremented and checks 3 less than 6 or not. So what is a of 3? A of 3 is 8 less than a of 1. A of 1 is 4. No. Similarly, again j gets incremented. 4 less than 6. Yes. A of 4. A of what is a of 4? 3. A of 1 is 4. Yes. When we have yes, what we need to do, this enters into this loop. Minimum is equal to 4. Now we have set the minimum element as 4. Now again j gets incremented over here. J is equal to 5. 5 is less than 6. Yes. A of 5 is 1. 1 less than a of 4. Yes. Whenever we have a condition, this is satisfied, the minimum elements get changed to that particular element equal to 5. Now we have j is equal to 6. J gets incremented. So 6 less than 6? No. So what is j? Minimum now? Minimum is 5. Is 5 not equal to 0? Is 5 not equal to 0? Yes. It is yes. So what we do? Swap of a of I comma a of minimum. What is a of 0 I? I is 0. A of minimum. Minimum is, what is minimum here? We have got the value minimum as 5. So what is the value of a of 0? A of value is 0 is 7. So a of value is 5. What we have done in the first step? So we have traced this. Now we have found out the minimum value is a of 5 and a of 1, that is a of 0, that is 7, gets interchanged. So we get this a of 1 and 7. These two elements getting interchanged or swapped. So we will go for the next pass. So this is how the algorithm is being proceeded, and we go for n minus 1 pass. If there are n elements, we will go with n minus 1 elements, totally 6 elements. So we go with n 5 pass. So lastly we get this as a sorted array.